Hi everyone, you're on Moby and it's great to see you on my channel again. Today in this video we will dive more into the plot of 72 episode with secret scenes, because some details begin to appear only if you watch the episode several times, and just about these details we will talk today. So be sure to watch this video to the end, because in it I will also read your most interesting theories from the comments, and who knows, suddenly I will read your theory. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, give this video a like and join my Discord server. But anyway, we're going to get started. The episode begins by showing us the last seconds of Plungerman's life. Then we see a message on the screen that the camera is offline, and then we see not a secret scene but a brand new scene. This is the POV of the scientist cameraman, and immediately at this point we can see his code name. It's Scientist Cameraman 1337. For those who don't know, that this number is a meme, which means that this character is obscenely cool. Also, this character is very angry and even beats his fist on the control panel. But he is understandable, because he has just seen his best friend Plungerman killed. Then we see what Mr. Boom showed us in his leaks. But only now we see what's happening on behalf of the scientist cameraman. Next we see SWAT SKIBIDI Mutant, and yes, this is the official name of the character. I told you about it in my leaks. He fires 2 missiles into the car behind which the backup cameraman was hiding. The car flips over, but the agent survives. Next, the scientist shows this SKIBIDI monster his powerful lasers, but Blood manages to hide. Then a second later, the scientist is attacked again by another SKIBIDI monster. He is also a police squad, but he is less protected, but he is very fast, and his hands are 2 circulating sharp saws. He pounces on the scientist, but the cameraman swings around and hits the monster, knocking him out with his iron fist and finishing him off with his hot lasers. Next, another SKIBIDI toilet tries to fire a missile at the scientist, but the Chamberlain, thanks to his mechanical suit, successfully dodges and counterattacks the enemy, leaving only burnt SKIBIDI nuggets. But as soon as he finishes the battle with one opponent, he is immediately attacked by another, and it is again SKIBIDI Mutant. And this time the enemy manages to slightly damage the scientist's mechanical avatar. But cameraman activates the sword on his second hand and pierces the enemy's head, throwing him off. He could move him and wanted to attack again, but the scientist managed to turn him into a medium rare steak. But he wouldn't have time to devour it, for another mutant was already pouncing on him. The scientist instantly repulsed the attack, and we see that the opponents become very much. The scientist turns his head to look around, but on another street he sees 2 cameramen from the reinforcement squad trying to penetrate the shield of the main SWAT SKIBIDI Mutant, but their lasers are unable to do so. Then the enemy with a slight movement of his hand chops the cameraman with a sickle. And yes, this sickle is taken from the wolf character from the cartoon Cat in Boots 2. I'm sorry, translator problems. I meant Puss in Boots 2. Are the old viewers still here, by the way? After all, before analyzing SKIBIDI Toilet I made video memes with the cat in boots. Sorry, double facepalm. Well, now we continue. This cameraman has asked for help, but he's beyond help. Forgive us, I think we'll see you again in another world. POV cameraman scientist is angry and tries to penetrate the mutant's armor with his lasers, but their power is also not enough. Next, the enemy comes so close that he manages to cut off the cameraman's lasers. He then swings his sickle again and once again manages to damage the scientist. But then the mutant is hit by a powerful energy projectile. It damages his eye, and SKIBIDI Mutant with anger looks at who did it, and on his face you can understand that he was very surprised at who did it. Scientist turns, and initially I saw as if it was flying Titan cameraman's head and lasers to shoot down all enemies who get in her eyes. But then when this device landed it became clear that it was an upgraded and improved cameraman spider. Let me remind you that this spider was the very first invention of the cameraman agents, and after so many episodes this invention is back again, only this time it is even stronger. In addition to lasers, jetpack, powerful body and updated camera, on this invention can be seen cannons, which uses Titan Speakerman. And just by these cannons Spider attacks the mutant, and the mutant loses control. He tries to fly away, but crashes. But this is not the end of the fight, because further in the spider comes a shell from the enemy. Luckily the spider's camera has an improved tough body, so this shot didn't do any serious damage. The scientist turns around and we see a new kind of SKIBIDI toilet emerge from the smoke. After all, the character in question rides out on a tank. And his appearance reminds me of several characters at once. The first one I remembered and I saw him is Krauser from the game Resident Evil. But then I remembered another character, and it is Bill from the game Left 4 Dead. Who do you think this character is? And who did Mr. Boom leave the reference to? Let me know in the comments. Next, this Skibidi tank fires missiles at the improved spider cam. They're already doing some damage to him. But he survives and infects one of the most powerful charges, and he does it using his camera. The spider fires a lightning ball, and the last thing the enemy says before he dies is... Also, this ball lightning is one of Titan's cameraman abilities. Remember how in the very first episodes of Skibidi Toilet Titan used this ability against the toilets that got into the secret laboratory of cameraman agents. And also Titan used this ability in episode 64 against the flying toilets. Next, after destroying the Skibidi tank, the scientist turns to the spider and shows him his double barker. The scientist then heads to the very same Skibidi mutant to finally finish it off. Along the way he is attempted to be attacked from the air, but the camera spider backs him up. Then to prevent another enemy from interfering with the mutant's destruction, the scientist throws a toilet grenade at him and the toilet explodes. The scientist cameraman picks up the sickle of death and goes to the mutant. He shows him this gesture, and I also noticed that this mutant's toilet bowl is an unusual blue color. And either this hints us that this enemy is a policeman or it is a reference to the first movie Avatar. After all, at the end of the movie there was also a battle of a man in a mech robot against the Avatar, aka Blue Mutant. Write in the comments what do you think, is it a coincidence or Easter egg? Next, the destruction of the mutant is interrupted by the fact that the Titan G toilet began to fly past this location. He drops the full power of lasers on the mechanical suit cameraman scientist, from which he is thrown a short distance. The Titan is also attacked by an enhanced camera spider and G-Toilet raises one eyebrow in surprise. He seems to be a bit surprised by the cameraman agent's new invention, and when the spider charged and fired a ball of lightning at Titan, he activated the shield. It seems that if he didn't, the spider was able to do a good amount of damage to him. Next, the Titan destroys the spider using its lasers. And it only took half the power of all his lasers to destroy it. Also further, the scientist's mechanical suit began to spark, and on his screen we could see the blue screen of death. After that the scientist had to escape from his suit, otherwise he would have exploded with it. Then the interesting details of the plot begin. After all, as it turned out, the secret containers are not one, there are two of them. Also in the moment you can hear the voice Skibidi Michael Jackson and see him. And also if you catch the frame, you can see the mad scientist Skibidi, which caused critical damage to the big agent cameraman in the 69th episode. And you can also spot the still sad Skibidi DJ. Don't worry fun, you'll get your new and improved body. Next, one of the Skibidi workers reports something to the Titan. I don't know the Skibidi language, so I can't understand what they are saying. Then suddenly and very quickly the Astro toilet appears. And oh, my god, it's so big. Now we see it up close and this blood looks very massive. Astro toilet takes the worker's Skibidi and squeezes it and then throws it at the Titan G toilet. There is also some dialogue going on between the two. Astro toilet says, "You will be punished for treason, Commander. No one will escape justice." And he also starts charging his alien energies. But G toilet only calmly charges all his lasers and even smiles. And that's where the first part of the 72nd episode of Skibidi Toilet ends. Part 2 of the 72nd episode continues the events of the first part, which is logical by the way. And as I assumed in my theories, Titan G Toilet, as soon as he charged his lasers, attacked Astro Toilet, but he held back Titan's lasers, thanks to his special claws, which can absorb all the energy that hits them. Astro Toilet redirected all the energy through itself, collected all the power in one charge and reflected it to Jimmy, but thanks to the shield, he withstood this blow. Next, Astro Toilet shows us his new ability. It turns out that he has tentacles in his claws, which he thrust into Jimmy and thus destroyed his shield and took his energy to be more powerful. But what happened next personally surprised me a lot, because Jimmy activated his protective helmet and it reminded me of the Skibidi zombie universe from Monster Up. He also had an episode where the G-Toilet Titan activated his new armor. And then in full defense, Titan went to attack Astro Toilet again. But this time Astro also directed shield energy at him. And initially G-Toilet's lasers were stronger, but Astro boosted the power and Jimmy started to lose, but he was still holding the lasers. And also at this point G-Toilet's helpers flew in to help him and started attacking Astro Toilet. And after he sustained 2 heavy blows on him, he released the beams and switched to destroying the smaller enemies that were in his way. He dealt with them with ease, but the G-Toilet Titan had already recharged his lasers and started destroying the Astro Toilet. This time he didn't have time to catch the energy of the lasers, so he had to kiss the ground and probably even taste it. But that only made Astro Toilet even angrier. He uttered a phrase that goes like this: "Enough games." Then when Jimmy attacked him again, he was able to dodge, energized, and went into UFC fighter mode. Dana White could have put on a good show, but he hasn't shown up in this universe yet. Next, Astro was able to remove the protective helmet from Titan and grabbed his head, just like in episode 60, but this time the scientist will not help him, and also this shot we saw on the very first leak for this episode. I told you it was a real shot, not a troll, and you didn't believe me. It's sad, but moving on. For as it turns out, the Titan has learned to scream very loudly, just like the Titan Speakerman. I mean, he literally threw the Astro Toilet with a sonic wave. And also it seems that he went into rage mode and with lasers on full speed went into battle. And it's strange why Astro Toilet didn't use its energy claws this time. But it seems that it was saving energy to hit Titan at supersonic speed. The Titan received 2 powerful blows, which broke his goggles. But on the third blow, the Titan decided to activate his shield again, and the Astro Toilet crashed into him at full speed and slowed him down a bit. G-Toilet managed to damage him a little in that short time, but then he flew away again. He flew up to him from behind and decided to make a stealthy kill, but the Titan sensed something in time and shot Astro with his lasers, which are on his head. Astro flew back a bit and G-Toilet started attacking again with his lasers, but this time Astro caught their energy with his claws and reflected them into Titan. Jimmy then turned off his lasers and Astro uttered the following. Next, the Titan charged a fireball from his reactor and slowly launched it at Astro, to which he responded. But this was all part of his cunning plan, for next he also gave a piece of his charges to Astro Toilet, but they were unusual, but with a purple glow, just like Titan TV Man's energy. Astro thought that he just let himself be killed, but it turns out that these charges completely changed the control of the toilet and his claws start attacking him. Jimmy rejoices, because his cunning plan worked. But meanwhile Astro Toilet took serious measures on how to fight with his claws, and his third hand helped him in this, but still in the end his second claw gave him a serious blow, from which he fell and there was an explosion. But nevertheless he was still alive and was not going to give up. But crazy Jimmy is very sneaky. He started charging all his lasers to turn the Astro Toilet into dust and shot the barely alive Astro. But a second later, a whole new character appeared that Mr. Boom was talking about, and just like I said in my theories, it's going to be a new Astro Toilet. And as we can see, it is. It's a brand new character and it's very similar to a character from the Verlance universe. So far this is the second reference to another SKIBIDI Toilet universe. Could it be that we'll be seeing a legendary collaboration between the 3 animators in the future? Write in the comments if this is something you'd like to see, and also write in the comments what we will call this new Astro Toilet. I propose to call him Red Eye, but you can also write your suggestions in the comments. Then Captain Red Eye shot a powerful charge at G-Toilet from what his shield broke and his whole system was a little paralyzed, and then when Red Eye tried to finish Titan at this moment Titan Speakerman appeared and started to attack the new enemy. Next Red Astro shot at him but Speakerman dodged but was knocked back by the blast wave from the shot. The blast wave was so strong that the Titan flew to the ground with great speed. Next, the Red Astro took his wounded comrade and flew away. After the Titan Speakerman woke up, he immediately started to attack Jimmy, but by this time his shield had already recharged again and the Titans were already able to surround G-Toilet. The Titan TV Man seemed to remember the events of episode 47 and decided to show Jimmy his red glow again. Even so, G-Toilet was able to find the strength to fly away. The Titan TV Man said a secret phrase, and while he was speaking, the Titan Speakerman already flew after Jimmy. Next Titan TV Man asked Titan Cameraman if he was ready, to which Titan Cameraman ripped off his old arm, attached his Astro Toilet claw and answered TV Man. For pleasure. That concludes part 2 of episode 72. As I said before, in the secret scene we saw TV Man Scientist again, but we can understand it even without watching the scene, because this playboy is shown in the preview. Also let me remind you that the last time we saw this scientist was in episode 66, and then we assumed that we will see him more often, but as it turned out it was not so. And that's okay, he's a scientist, His job is to create new technologies, not to rush into battle like 299 Spartan. But let's get to the most secret scene. It begins with the moment when Titan cameraman first spoke, and by the way, on this topic on my channel has already released 2 videos, so if you are interested to know why it happened, be sure to watch them. Next, Titan cameraman activates his jetpack and flies away after Titan G toilet. Yes, in case you missed it, this lucky guy once again managed to save his toilet ass from the Alliance Titans. Next, the POV scientist cameraman turns his head and we see the big agent TV man and TV man scientist move into the given location. Next, the scientist says his secret phrase, which goes like this: "Get this bitch to the lab. Get this piece in the lab." And the big agent TV man responded, I just translated what he replied and the answer shocked me. But I'll tell you this anyway. He said, yes, and that's why this show is not for children. Is that clear? Okay, we continue. Then the TV man scientist replied, confidential, and looked at the cameraman scientist with a smiley face. Then he, the Astro toilet claw and the big TV man agent teleported to his secret lab to further study this technology. And by the way, I've talked about it before, so make sure you watch my videos where I tell you my theory. It's very interesting. And by the way, if you think that they took not the claw of Astro toilet, but some other part of it, then no, this is exactly the claw, because here you can see the old toxic hand of Titan cameraman. Next, the scientist hears a sound to the left and runs towards it. He runs through the fire and there we see a damaged but still alive camera spider. The scientist shows him a bark and the strider reciprocates. This ends the secret scene of episode 72. So, now it's time for a little theories. Well, now let's get to the very details that you may not have noticed on the first or even second viewing of the episode. And yes, I'm talking about Mr. Boom's agents, or as we call him on the show, the secret agent. And in this episode, they can be seen in 2 places. One of them we can notice on the GIF animation that Mr. Boom made in honor of reaching 40 million subscribers on his YouTube channel. This secret cameraman is in this location, and the second time this character is found in an additional secret scene. And I'll be honest, I really at first he did not notice at all, but only after watching the analysis of the secret scene from other YouTubers and thanks to your comments I was able to see him. This agent can be seen at the moment, and the cameraman scientist heard a strange sound and went to him, and there he saw that the camera strider is still alive. But is it true that here we see exactly the assistant secret agent? What if it's already a character who belongs to a new race? I mean, the image quality is really bad. Or maybe it's one of the twin cameramen we saw in episode 70. In any case, whoever it is, now the secret agent does not leave his office to follow the agents. Now his subordinates do it for him, and I think that with each new episode the army of secret agent will only increase, but this is just my theory. And by the way, here is one of the interesting theories from the comments, which I managed to find and which gathered a lot of likes. She sounds like this: new race will be computer race. They will help with figuring out and using the Astro toilets technology and will be important to the story. Their powers will be hacking and controlling toilets, like TV Woman but better. Well, this theory may indeed come true. After all, what if scientists cannot understand the technology Astro toilets, and then the secret agent will secretly send and move to the laboratory agents computer scientists to learn as much as possible about the technology Astro toilets? Again, we can write our theories in the comments and the most interesting ones will be included in one of my new videos. Also, now on our screens we see some of my interesting videos, which I advise you to watch.